Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Taco King Art. We're on episode 8. This is awesome, and today is going to be extra special because we're going to be doing a studio update, and it's a little bit different than my typical video. Usually this channel is about art and drawing, but today we're going to be making some tough decisions. And we're also going to be having some fun because we're going to be decorating a Christmas tree at the end. It's part of the Christmas season. So let's get started with what the studio looked like before the studio update. And this is footage from, I don't know, maybe a year ago. But this update took probably around 6 months to do. So throughout the video, you'll see me in different haircuts and different clothing because I worked on it here and there throughout the 6 months and it took a really long time. So the goal for the studio changes is generally to get rid of the visual clutter on the desk, put the books away on the bookshelf. I also want to take these like pencils and install a drawer and put everything in the drawer. I would also like to add a little bit more color to the room, maybe add a little bit of black, a little bit of green, and maybe some textiles. I like the whites, but maybe I'm a little bit tired of the whites, and I would like to make those white boards in the background black and also get rid of like the clutter. So like get rid of some of the paper back there and just generally simplify. So I have this cabinet and I'm not getting rid of any of the art supplies, but I would like to add some artwork just to make it less cluttered looking from the outside. All right, first things first, let's concentrate on the lighting. So I got this Philips Hue light pack, which comes with 3 light bulbs, a light switch, and what they call a light bridge, which allows you to control your lights through an app. I also got some additional accessories, which is an additional light switch because I wanted one on each ends of the room so I can control turning on and off the lights easier. But I also needed a special light bulb for my desk lamp, which only takes a candelabra light. So that's the 40-watt bulb there. While I would like to say that connecting these lights was easy, it was actually quite difficult. The light bulbs themselves were pretty easy to install. The problem came with the bridge, and the bridge has to connect to the internet, and without the bridge, the lights are not going to work. And so getting the bridge to recognize the signal, the internet signal, was the difficulty, and I spent about half of a day of troubleshooting trying to get it to connect. And I don't know exactly what I did to finally get it to work, but it had something to do with these 3 dots. They all have to be solid, and one is always blinking. And I couldn't figure out why. I never did figure it out, but eventually it connected. And once you do have it connected, I could say that this is actually a very good product and very enjoyable to use. You can get very granular detail on how you customize your lights, and the app itself is like a joy to use, and just the way they made the interface and how they named the light scenes, it was just a lot of fun to use. So you're gonna like these lights if you ever get them. So with every studio update, obviously you have to take the ubiquitous trip to IKEA to get things to decorate your studio with, and so that's what I'm doing here. But I also like to eat before I shop because going through IKEA kind of takes a long time. So I thought I would try the mac and cheese, and it actually was pretty good. So in this studio update, I was actually debating, do I do a curtain rail versus a curtain rod? And in previous living spaces, I've always done a curtain rod. But this time I wanted to try the rail because I thought it would make the window look bigger, because actually the window is kind of small in the room. So I found this thing on Amazon called the SwitchBot curtain. And what this does is it just allows you to open and close your curtains automatically with the help of this little remote. You can also use your phone to control the curtains. But generally, this thing is, it's got a reasonable price point, and I think it's really well designed. The only thing to remember that I think maybe is that it's a little bit loud, but from what I understand, this company has also released like a version 2 of this thing, which is a lot quieter. But this louder version actually, maybe it could be helpful because it kind of wakes you up in the morning. But that's kind of what you want if you're looking for your curtains to open in the morning to get you up. Then, I mean, it's doing its job because it's waking me up. So I saved you some very boring footage of me installing the curtain rail because I want to see a curtain rail installed, said no one ever. So I left that out. And these curtains are from IKEA, of course, because I'm an IKEA fan. And I'm trying to think of the name of these curtains, but I don't even know if they're considered like true curtains. I think these are actually described on IKEA as like curtain liners, but they look like curtains to me, and I kind of like them just like this. I don't feel like I need another layer of a curtain on top of a liner, like a curtain liner and then a curtain. To me, that's too much. But these have a nice subtle sheen to them, and they come across to me as like a grayish, like a French gray or like a warm gray. So overall, I like them, and they do the job. So these SwitchBot curtains worked out pretty well. As you can see, I got the 2 robots to open and close. It does take a little bit of work to install them, but once they're installed, they haven't failed me. So once you got them up, you're good. All right, let's move on to like something more fun, which is I'm going to be updating, or I'm going to be modifying a keyboard. And the keyboard is what I'm going to be using as like a decorative element in the studio, and I'm not going to be using just one. I'm going to be using like a few, but this one is kind of like a new keyboard. So I'm using some switches that are from a company called ACO, and the switches are the Jelly Blacks. And then I'm going to be using keycaps from the company called Drop. And this is like a new hobby that I picked up over the pandemic. So I'm still like learning a lot about how to modify a keyboard and what makes a keyboard sound good. But generally, it's a very tactile kind of hobby, and that's what I like about it. It's also generally just very chill and very relaxing, and a good way to like decompress from like a stressful week. And I do plan on modifying the other keyboards in this video. It's just that I haven't gotten to it yet, and it's not something that I'm in a hurry to do. So as long as they're modified, like within the next 2 years or so, I would be happy with that. So now that our keyboard is complete, I guess we're headed back to the land of IKEA, which is the happiest place on earth. Well, I guess it depends on what day you go, but generally I think if you're there on a Monday through a Wednesday, you're good. But if you're there on a Saturday and Sunday, it's probably not the best time. I like that picture, by the way, and it was on sale. So I'm like, should I get it? Should I get it? And, well, I ended up getting it. And this is one of the meals that I finally got to try. It's the chicken, black beans, rice, and plantains. and it was oh so delicious, but very hard to get at IKEA because I've asked for it maybe 4 times, and out of the 4, I've succeeded once, and I don't know why that is. I don't know why they make it so difficult to get, but it's just not there. It's not available all the time. But if you're there, plantains are delicious, so yeah, try it. So we're getting these Scadis, I think they're called Scadis black backboards, and these are what we're going to use to install the keyboards. But I knew it was going to need some support, so I got these screws from Lowe's, and my plan was to attach like these skinny wooden posts to the back of the Scadis backboards, because I didn't want to attach anything directly to the wall using screws, because I didn't want to mess up the walls. But the keyboards are really heavy, and they're gonna weigh down the Scadis board, so you gotta put some supports. You can kind of see it in this shot below the desk, but the supports are working out really well. And if you're doing a room redo, of course you have to like clean and dust from like over a year of not getting back there and cleaning the back of the computer. So this was an impulse purchase, I have to confess. I had no intention of changing out the monitor stand for my computer, but when I saw this thing, I saw its potential because it does have 2 shelves and it could hold more stuff, like more keyboards. So I ended up getting it, but the good thing is that I didn't get rid of the old monitor stand, I just put it somewhere else. So guilty as charged, but it looks nice, doesn't it? And I also did some cable management and got some of these, but like this kind of footage is not that interesting, so I saved some time there and I cut that footage out. So this was also part of cable management. And these worked out well. They just hold cables with like a little magnetic thing. And then I got some plants, and all the plants that you're gonna see, they're plastic because this room doesn't get a lot of light. And so I don't think plants can live in this space and survive. So after I installed this whole thing and I installed the keyboards and everything, I was like, wait a minute. I lived with this like this for a while, where I can see the wooden post behind the backboard, and I just wasn't crazy about it. And the fact that I could see the wall behind this, black board, it didn't seem like stealth enough to me. Like I thought I could do better. And I lived with it for a while thinking maybe it's good enough. I'm like, no, I know I can do better. So I took all the keyboards off, which kind of meant starting all over again. But I think I had a better result. It turned out better. So I just put some black poster board behind the Scadis, and look how much cleaner it looks. I think it looks a lot more minimalistic, a lot more stealth. And I was a lot happier with this. So after that was complete, I decided to get a drawer. And this is just like a cheap plastic drawer. Where did I get this from? You could probably get this on Amazon or Temu. And it's pretty cheap. They give you some adhesive, like a tape, 3M tape, but I didn't want to use the tape because I know that with the weight of whatever I put in this drawer, it's going to fall. So I hacked it, and I used some screws to screw it into the bottom of the desk. I also chose vases that kind of mimic the pattern on the front of the drawer to make everything match. And if you notice, like, everything had that kind of frosted black look. And then I got this drawer liner, also from IKEA. And I was going to add a drawer liner to the drawer and also to the monitor stand, because the monitor stand looked kind of naked without anything on it. And I had so much material left over. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just see how this looks. And I liked it. It added a little more contrast to like the white of the desk. They add a little bit of black. And here I am placing objects in an aesthetically pleasing way, like a lot of Instagram and YouTube videos out there. But in reality, who am I trying to kid? This is going to be a junk drawer. It's just going to be that way. And as long as I know what's in this drawer, I'm quite all right with it being messy. And this is a toy that I got from an arcade one time. It's a lot of fun to play with. It's good as a de-stressing tool. And that's my phone holder. So I'm quite okay with it being messy. That's just the reality of life. And you know what? The drawer's working like a charm. Alright, moving on with the studio update. If you can't tell already, I seem to be getting really interested in keyboards, and it's not something that I had an interest in like before the pandemic. It's just something that I picked up along the way to pass the time when you're, stuck inside. And I found these like really interesting little plastic, what are these, like trinkets on Temu. So the packaging kind of sucks, but the thing is kind of cheap, so can't really go wrong. And these are multifunctional because the top comes off and you can store your spare keyboard switches or even keycaps in these little containers. So this is a present for one of my keyboards. It's essentially just a keyboard cover, so not very fascinating, but what I have noticed about this hobby is using mechanical keyboards, because of the nature of the keycaps, they get ridiculously dusty. And they're a lot of work to clean. So I would rather not waste that time cleaning the keyboard, and I'd rather just cover up the keycaps when I'm not using them to reduce dust. I thought I would include this footage because this is a package that I received from something that I ordered, but I thought it was kind of ridiculous of how they packaged it. And this is from a company called Grovemade. So Grovemade sells accessories for your desk. But why on earth did they package my item like this? I I am at a loss for words. I thought it was a little overkill. And I wasn't too happy about it because it was a lot of waste and I felt guilty about it. And the thing is, I didn't package it myself and yet I felt guilty. So all I ordered was like 2 desk mats. So then I'm like, wait, couldn't they have packaged this better? And I thought, what if this desk mat just could, drop into the box like that? And you could save that entire box and all that packaging. And this is all they had to do. This is it. They could have just slapped a label on this box and shipped it out to me this way, and I would have been delightfully happy. Oh well. Well, thanks. Thanks, GroveMaid. So now we move on to the cabinet, the art cabinet. And essentially the goal for this one is simply to give off the appearance that there's less clutter. It's not really to get rid of anything in the cabinet, because everything in the cabinet is pretty much everything that I love and everything that I use the most in my life. So we're getting towards more towards the end of the video, and this is the part where I'm gonna just chillax and decorate a Christmas tree. So enjoy the footage. So the last task is to install a desk mat, and I was kind of torn between this green one or this cream one, but I intend on keeping both, and I thought maybe I could just switch them out every few months. But because I use mechanical keyboards and the desk is kind of hollow, the sound is kind of lacking. And I thought I could make the sound better by installing a desk mat and improving the sound quality from the mechanical keyboards. Alright, so let's go to kind of like the reveal, I guess. So here's some before footage of the studio before the update. And remember, we were going to add a little bit more color, so we're going to add blacks, some greens, and some curtains, and a little bit more textiles with the desk mat. And this is what it ended up looking like. And you have to keep in mind, though, I didn't get this shot during the daytime. It's a nighttime shot. But I think it looks really cool. I think it looks a lot cleaner, a lot more minimalistic. And I'm generally happy with the way that it turned out. I think I have a little bit more work to do with like adding the missing painting on the wall. And here's some of that lighting that I was talking about earlier. So these are the Philips Hue light bulbs, and these are some of the scenes that you can create. And these are all the Christmas ones. I like some of the more subtle tones when I'm working. Because you don't need like this room has no overhead lighting, but the subtle colors are good for like work lights. You need to work on your computer, like that one. That one's really nice. Alright guys, thank you for joining me so much for this studio update and this Christmas special. I hope you guys have a beautiful holiday with your families and your friends, and I'll see you guys in the new year.